It's been 3 years since they brought us here, Igor. Evie mumbled, pushing the last bite of what their masters called food in her mouth. And you still make faces while eating this food. Igor laughed, watching her struggling to push the food down her throat. How is it that there's still some life left in you, Igor? Her amusement was justified. It's been 3 years since they were captured by the soldiers of Alika Kingdom, and were being held as slaves. Slaves who were being taught how to kill. And also, she didn't know what had happened to her little sister. Did they kill her? Was she going through the same training as her? Or did they sell her to some brothel? Being beautiful is as much a curse as blessing, she thought. It's going to get over tomorrow, Igor said, trying to sound as confident as possible. But clearly not enough. You think so? Of course. We will meet our families soon, Evie. First thing I am going to do after getting out is marrying you, Igor. They spent 3 years together. It's hard to come out unchanged after spending 3 years risking life with someone. We are already married. Igor leaned towards Evie. Kissing her still felt like it was his first kiss. You never get bored with someone whom you love truly. Yes, but I want a traditional wedding. I have even planned what I am going to wear. So you have planned to make me fall for you even more, huh? Igor chuckled. Evie nudged him in the stomach. Corners of her lips lift up. Idiot. She tried to hide her burning face. Let's go to sleep now. It's a big day tomorrow. Indeed. Good night, Igor. Good night. Igor performed daily ritual of good night kiss. Evie dragged Igor to the field early that day. For once, she was excited to visit the field she dreaded so much before. Grass, as it seemed to Evie, was much greener that day. Trees seemed extra tall. Even crow's cacophony was melodious. All Igor was able to see was Evie. He hadn't seen her this happy in like forever. Igor's gaze broke when the instructor appeared from the woods. They didn't know his name. Never got the chance to ask, and he never stated it by himself. Anyway, knowing his name would have only added to their already present sky-high hate for him. Today is your last task. You, if you succeed, will be allowed to leave. Even though Evie hated his voice like nothing else, the words he was uttering rather felt pleasant to her ears. What is it that we have to do? Evie asked. The instructor was chuckled at her enthusiasm. Maybe because he knew what she was about to go through. You both have to fight, he said. There are no rules except one. In order to win this fight, you have to kill your opponent. What? We have to kill? Evie found her head too heavy for her body to carry. The world, seemed to her, almost stopped. She had even planned what she was going to wear for their wedding. No. God cannot be that cruel. She refused to believe. She turned towards Igor only to find his head lowered. He knew. He knew about it. But why didn't he tell her? Igor. Is this a joke? Tell him stop. It's not funny. Tears blurred Evie's vision. I will be back in 2 hours. Make sure one of you will be dead by then. Or you both will. Instructor said over his shoulder and disappeared in the woods. You knew this would happen. Didn't you, Igor? Evie wiped the tears from her eyes in a hope to see things clearly. But she couldn't see anything. Nothing. There was no life ahead of this. You must kill me. Igor's still not her in the eye. What was it he was so afraid of looking at? Death? What's the point in not looking at something you can see with closed eyes? Kill you? Why would I do that? How can I do that, Igor? Evie was no more aware of the words that left her mouth. If you won't, then I will. Igor charged at Evie. The time Evie looked up, his deft hands had already drawn out a dagger from the weapon bag on his thigh. Evie dodged that attack with ease. She wondered why she bothered to dodge it. 3 years of training had honed her reflexes, perhaps. But no amount of training would have prepared her for a fight with Igor. How does it feel fighting a death match with someone you are about to marry next day? Only Evie would know. Not like she had time to think about all this, or anything as a matter of fact. Igor, stop it. What has happened to you? Evie found it hard to keep track of Igor's hand with eyes filled with tears. Tell me what's wrong. Nothing's wrong, Evie. It's just that I have to kill you in order to be free. You are choosing freedom over me? Isn't that an obvious choice? Very well then. There's a limit to what a mortal being can take. And Evie had reached that limit long ago. She was keeping herself together hoping it would be over soon. But she even ran out of that pretense. The grass which seemed greener to Evie that morning was now piercing her knees as little blades. She was now on her knees, waiting for Igor to end her suffering. Dying from Igor's blow didn't seem such a bad idea anymore. What's better than dying in arms of the person you love? Let alone dying from a weapon held in those arms. Each second seemed like eternity to Evie, as she was waiting for a blow that never came. It was never going to. She felt warm drops in her hairs. Was it raining? No. Sky was as clear as her mind now. Go, Evie. Get out of here. Igor sobbed. Igor was crying? Why? And why was he telling her to go? Just when Evie thought she had seen the worst, she saw Igor crying. Igor was telling her to go. Moment ago he was trying to kill her, now he was telling her to leave. No. No, Igor. I am not going anywhere without you. Remember, we are going to get married tomorrow. Evie somehow finished the sentence. No. I am afraid it's not possible. Why? And even if it's not, we will die together. I am not leaving you behind. Don't be stupid. Think of our families. One of us needs to go back. Think of your sister, Evie. She never in her wildest dreams thought that Igor caressing her cheek could be this painful. I am not leaving you behind. Evie held Igor's hand in hers. Either we both leave or none of us will. Even if I make it out of here, I won't survive much longer. So there's no point in wasting your life for me, Evie. Igor's head once again was facing towards the ground. What are you talking about? I don't have much time left. I am suffering from a disease. Even if I leave, I will die in few months. What? You never talked about it. And you don't look like you are sick. Are you lying just to let me out of here? Try all you want, but I am not going any. I am not lying, Evie. One of these soldiers was supplying me medicines to keep me alive for today. Igor advanced towards a tree just to lie down under its shade. Go to the instructor and tell him you killed me. Igor groaned, setting his gaze on the dagger he had in his hand. No, Igor. She cried. What would her life be without him? Or would it be even a life? You know I am right, Evie. Just go away. Keep our families safe. Keep your sister safe. Igor said in a voice that Evie always feared. Calm, polite but yet daunting voice. I go. Igor dagger found a place in his abdomen before she had any chance to finish her sentence. Go. Igor winced. No dagger could have cut his resolve to save her. No sword ever made had that what it takes to cut people like Igor. Evie ran towards Igor. Each step seemed like a mile to cover. She took Igor's head in her lap. Igor's head had been in her lap many times. But she wasn't crying then. Neither she knew he was dying from disease. Go, Evie. Take care of them. Tell our families that I love them. And don't be what they want you to be, Evie. You are much more than that. I am nothing. Nothing without you. Evie cried. But there was no one to listen to her. Igor had left her. All she had of Igor was the memories they made together. And that itself was too much a pain to handle. She left the field to set sail towards her home. Memories were not the only thing Igor had left for her. He gave her a responsibility. A duty. A duty to protect their families from tyrants. A duty to protect their families from the pain they had experienced.